Welcome to America's top sexuality podcast, Dr. Sex Fairy. I am Dr. Kaval Bava, America's favorite sex doctor, and I am here to transform your life. Today, we are going to explore a powerful topic that will transform the way you think about testosterone. Specifically, we will discuss 6 shocking truths about testosterone that affect both men and women. Along the way, I will also break down some of the most controversial research in hormone therapy, including the Women's Health Initiative study, and reveal how much of what you've been told about testosterone has been debunked. Testosterone plays a vital role in both men's health and women's health, but it is often misunderstood. I am going to give you critically important information, whether you are a man or a woman, and I want you to listen to this episode till the very end. This information could help save your life or that of someone you love. It will certainly improve your quality of life. Either way, this episode is going to change how you think about testosterone forever. Let's jump in with the first shocking truth. Everyone assumes that testosterone is a male hormone, but not only do women have testosterone in their body, they actually have more testosterone than estrogen. Women need testosterone as much as men do, albeit in lower doses. It helps women have a stronger libido, better mood, muscle definition, and more. It is just as important to have testosterone for a woman as it is for a man. It is an integral part of a woman's vitality. Most women are unaware about how important testosterone is for them and how it impacts their health. When testosterone levels drop, which they do earlier than you might expect, women start feeling fatigued, moody, and disconnected from their own bodies. The drop in testosterone may lead to low libido, lack of motivation, weight gain, and even mental fog. Many of these symptoms are blamed on lack of estrogen after menopause. Testosterone doesn't usually even enter the conversation. Sadly, more often than not, women aren't even prescribed testosterone therapy when they go to their doctor about their symptoms. I was recently interviewed by the Daily Mail, and I discussed how important testosterone is for many of these reasons, and how actress Kate Winslet finally addressed the elephant in the room by talking about how testosterone therapy increased her libido and her quality of life. I hope that this episode encourages women to ask their doctor more questions about their hormones, including testosterone. And this leads me to shocking truth number 2. Both men and women start losing testosterone around age 30. Most people think of testosterone decline as something that happens later in life, during menopause for women or after 50 for men. This couldn't be further from the truth, because by the time you hit 30, the decline has already begun. It is a slow decline, but it adds up over the years, and you might not even realize that this is why you have no energy or sexual desire. I see men in their 30s with low testosterone more often than you think. They come to me because they are having trouble getting and maintaining their erections, and this problem may have even started in their 20s, but they waited and the problem only got worse. You see, it is deeply embarrassing for a young man to admit this not only to me, but even to himself. They ask me why I'm testing their hormones at that age and why I can't just give them a prescription for Viagra or Cialis. That would be doing them a disservice. I am not here on behalf of Big Pharma. I am here to transform your life. That means getting to the root cause of the problem and not putting a Band-Aid on it. With women, they may start to notice that they are suffering from some vaginal dryness, or perhaps they just don't feel like having sex anymore. This also happens to be the time when most women have young children and are running around taking care of diapers, school pickups, and play dates. They think that they are exhausted because of all of this, and the thought that this could be a sign of low testosterone never even enters their mind. Besides, most women think that they need to wait until menopause to start considering hormone therapy, but that could be years after the decline has begun. Many relationships suffer because the woman has low testosterone and doesn't even know it, or because the man thinks that his symptoms are just due to stress. When a young man seeks help for sexual dysfunction or depression, and so few do, his doctor often blames it on stress too. If a man can barely get attention for his testosterone, imagine being a young woman with low testosterone. It is unlikely that she will even be asked to get her hormones tested when she goes to her doctor. In menopausal women, doctors are quick to point out low estrogen or progesterone, but testosterone, not so much. Yet, when women finally do get their testosterone levels checked and start on a bioidentical hormone replacement therapy regimen, the result is often life changing. They feel more energized, more focused, and more connected to their bodies. They suddenly have a sex drive and better vaginal function. They even find it easier to orgasm. I want to bring up a critical piece of history that shaped how many doctors think about hormone therapy. In 2002, the Women's Health Initiative published its findings, and these findings shook the medical community to its core. This study stated that hormone replacement therapy, or HRT, especially estrogen, was linked to an increased risk of breast cancer, heart disease, and stroke. As a result, prescriptions for HRT plummeted overnight. Countless women were advised to stop hormone therapy completely. Let me explain why this study did damage. You see, the Women's Health Initiative study was deeply flawed. The women in the study were much older. Most were well past menopause and were into their 60s and even 70s by the time they started hormone therapy. Some were almost 80 years old. They also had pre-existing conditions like obesity and high blood pressure, which skewed the results. In the years since this study, more recent research has shown that bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, particularly when started earlier in the menopausal transition, offers many benefits. One study published in Menopause in 2013 by Dr. Hugh Taylor of Yale School of Medicine found that bioidentical hormone therapy was not linked to the same adverse cardiovascular and cancer risks that synthetic hormones were. In fact, studies now suggest that balanced hormone therapy can be beneficial for heart health and may even protect against some kinds of cancer. A review published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism in 2019 highlighted that testosterone could play a protective role by inhibiting the growth of estrogen-sensitive breast cancer cells. Which brings me to shocking truth number 3. Testosterone may actually reduce your risk of breast cancer. Yes, you heard that correctly. For years, hormones have been linked with an increased risk of breast cancer, especially estrogen. But the relationship between hormones and cancer is far more complex than we once thought. According to the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, testosterone therapy, particularly in postmenopausal women, has been associated with a decreased incidence of breast cancer. New research shows that testosterone can balance out the effects of estrogen in breast tissue and can actually inhibit the growth of certain breast cancer cells. Think about that for a moment. Instead of being something to fear, testosterone could be a protective factor in breast health, and yet it is rarely talked about in this context. And this is one more reason why it is so important to stay informed and to question outdated ideas about HRT. Now let's shift our focus to men and discuss shocking truth number 4. For years, testosterone has been seen as a hormone that could potentially cause prostate cancer or make it worse. While high testosterone levels in those with an elevated risk of prostate cancer remains controversial, low testosterone has been independently linked with an increased risk of prostate cancer. Let me repeat that so that you can fully process that. Low testosterone levels seem to actually increase your risk of getting prostate cancer. This next bit of information that I'm going to give you could very well qualify as shocking truth number 5, but we will keep it under the umbrella of number 4. Men with a history of prostate cancer have historically been denied testosterone therapy. In reality, prostate cancer survivors can, in some cases, safely use testosterone replacement therapy. Recent studies, including a study published in European Urology in 2016, suggest that under the right circumstances, testosterone therapy can be used in men with a history of prostate cancer without increasing their risk of recurrence. The researchers behind this study call this finding a paradigm shift, and they are right. The idea that testosterone is universally bad for men with prostate cancer is outdated. The key is monitoring and working with a doctor who understands the complexities of hormone therapy. Testosterone plays a crucial role in maintaining muscle mass, bone density, and even cognitive function. Without it, men may experience erectile dysfunction, depression, fatigue, and a significant reduction in their quality of life. So, for men who have had prostate cancer, testosterone therapy, when done right, can be a game changer. And it's not just about avoiding depression or fatigue. And this brings me to shocking truth number 5. Not only is testosterone not harmful for cardiac health, it is essential for your heart. For years, we have heard the myth that testosterone increases the risk of heart disease, but recent research shows quite the opposite. In fact, testosterone helps improve heart function, reduces inflammation in the arteries, and improves blood flow. Multiple studies have found that men with higher testosterone levels were less likely to suffer from heart attacks and even strokes. In fact, there is data that shows that lower testosterone levels have been associated with higher rates of all-cause and cardiovascular related mortality. What this means in English is that you have a higher risk of dying from more than just heart disease if you have low testosterone levels. For instance, if you have low testosterone and happen to be a diabetic, you are more likely to die. If you treat your low testosterone as a diabetic, you are less likely to die. So, testosterone doesn't just make your penis harder or your vagina wetter, it can help you live longer. Another critical aspect of testosterone that we don't talk about enough is its role in female sexual dysfunction or FSD. Yes, testosterone is responsible for men's ability to get and maintain hard erections, but it also plays a major role in women's sexual health. And this brings me to shocking truth number 6. Testosterone enhances sensitivity and responsiveness in the clitoris, meaning it is directly linked to arousal and orgasm. When women's testosterone levels are low, they may experience difficulties with arousal, decreased sexual desire, and even problems reaching orgasm. Testosterone therapy in women doesn't just increase their desire for sex, it actually increases blood flow within the clitoris itself. I'll bet you never heard this one before, and this is why you love your very own Dr. Sex Fairy. I am trying to save your heart and orgasms at the same time. Doing the Lord's work, people. Doing the Lord's work. I'll bet you'll never think of testosterone the same way again. I hope you see now that testosterone is far more important a hormone than most people realize, and certainly not just for men. When I do hormone replacement for men and women at my Boca Raton, Florida practice Bava Medical, I prefer to call it hormone balancing. I check thyroid levels, vitamin D levels, and so much more. Many of you do virtual consultations with me since you don't live in Boca Raton. Connect with me now by filling out the contact form on my website drsexfairy.com and calling my office at 1-877-DR-SEX-FAIRY or 561-453-2020. At the end of the day, testosterone is a foundational hormone for both men and women. It is not just about sexual function, though that's enough of a reason in and of itself. It is about maintaining overall health and wellness, from your heart and muscles to your mood and brain function. And yet, we continue to view testosterone through a narrow lens, focusing only on its role in libido or sexual performance. But testosterone does so much more than that. I gave a TEDx talk on May 11, 2024 titled, How to Biohack Your Sex Life. I talked about ways to biohack and improve sexual function at every stage in life. I mentioned my concept of sexual longevity, which I prefer to call sex span. Testosterone therapy was an important part of the talk, but unfortunately, that part was edited out by the powers that be. And so here I am, discussing it with you anyway. You can't muzzle this, doctor. I encourage you to get your testosterone levels checked. Don't wait until small issues become bigger problems. The earlier you address them, the better you will feel in the long run. And if your testosterone levels are within a normal range, let's discuss how to keep them that way. You may want to consider my US-made Dr. Sex Fairy Supplement Renew, which is a high-quality testosterone booster for both men and women. You can find a link to it in the podcast description below. As I mentioned earlier, I am happy to discuss your function with you at a consultation in my office or even over the phone or Zoom. I would like to end with this thought. Your health is a journey, and every step you take today will lead you towards a brighter, healthier future, or the exact opposite. Testosterone is just one part of that puzzle, but it is a powerful one. It is time we stop fearing it and start understanding it. Whether you are a man or a woman, understanding your hormones and taking control of your health can transform your life in ways you may not even realize yet. If you enjoyed this episode and think that you learned something, subscribe to it and leave us a 5-star review. I read every single one myself, and they mean the world to me. Sharing your feedback helps others find this podcast and begin their own transformations. And don't keep this information to yourself. Share this episode as well as others from this podcast with others so that they can benefit too. Do listen to episode 82 titled Erectile Dysfunction and Heart Disease, The Connection You Can't Ignore, for more information on the connection between ED, heart disease, and testosterone. In that episode, I spoke to renowned cardiologist Dr. Jyoti Mohanty. Trust me, you need to hear that episode. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. Sex Fairy, and follow me on TikTok at Dr. Sex Fairy and Instagram at The Real Dr. Sex Fairy for lots of great advice. If you are ready to take the next step in your health journey, fill out the contact form at drsexfairy.com or call my office right now to schedule a virtual or in-office consultation with me. I am here to help you feel your absolute best. You deserve to live a life that is vibrant and healthy. So take control and let me guide you to the very best version of yourself. Until next time.